Hi, people in YouTube land. My name is Pam, and what I wanted to talk to you about today was my upper extraction of all my teeth in preparation for implants. Now, the cool thing about implants, I guess they call it all in four or all in five or all in six. In my case, it was all in six. When they finally get healed enough where I can get the implants put in, I'm going to be so happy. So I thought this was important to kind of, I'm good. It's been 4 weeks and 2 days for me. And I definitely wanted to keep a kind of a chronological time video of my experience as I go. So for me, it's been a month and a couple of days. And what brought me to this point is my teeth were not doing well. I was a grinder and a clencher all my life. I'm now in my 60s, so it didn't leave my teeth very strong. I suffered on the uppers a lot of crowns, bridges. You know, I had a five-tooth bridge over here, and that kept cracking and getting infected, and I was just not happy for many, many years. So I decided when this five-tooth bridge cracked for the third time, which would mean to replace it would be about another 6 grand loan I'd have to find somewhere, I decided to get another opinion. And by the way, this opinion or what I'm doing today, the doctor doing my teeth does not know I'm doing this. This is just my honest assessment of how I've been doing since the surgery. So the doctor that I actually went to, and wait, I need my glasses to read this, was the Aesthetic Dental Specialty Center in Santa Clarita, California. The doctor's name was Dr. Soleimani, and I do name him because I loved this guy. I thought he was great when I went in for the first time. He did give me options. He told me I could sort of piecemeal my bones were okay, so I could piecemeal the implants, or what I could do is do the all on four, which is typical, or all on five, which he likes to do a lot, depending on my condition after he pulls. And so I made a decision after he decided to pull the tooth with the infection and bone graft it and give me antibiotics. I was sent out for 2 weeks and then came back for my surgery date. Prior to the surgery date, I was pretty scared. And I know that there's a lot of threads out there, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, just on the internet, and people are talking about their surgery date coming up. And I think this was important for me to film this because the surgery scared the shit out of me. However, when I went, I think the worst part of the surgery was the Novocaine. But then again, once that Novocaine hits, it's all good. Plus, you're on the loopy pill and you don't really care what the doctor's going to do. So at that time, I know that he bone grafted everything. He took blood from my arm, bone grafted me, and then pulled on my teeth, then bone graft, and then stitched me up. Now, my stitches, I went back after the surgery. Well, let me get to that. After the surgery, I went home. And immediately what I did was, ice, 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 on, off, on, off. And a lot of rinsing with salt water. I have to tell you, I really didn't swell. And I think swelling, it adds to your pain level. So I think if you can do it, if you have the surgery, you definitely want to keep that ice going. I did it pretty solidly for about 3 or 4 days. And then after that, the next few days, I did it not as often as I should, but I really didn't swell and I didn't bruise. So pretty much I healed pretty well. Now, I left the doctor's office with a set of teeth, my uppers that I got. These are my healing teeth. I did not wear them out, but they were in a little yellow thing and put in my little bag along with my prescriptions. And he did write me a prescription which he had ready for me, by the way. I think some either codeine or Norco and the ibuprofen, which was 600 or 800 milligrams. I don't care for hard drugs, even though it might take the pain away. I'm not going to feel good on it. So I took the ibuprofen, and to be quite frank, it took care of everything. I really didn't suffer at all. Now, it's still very tender to the touch, so And my surgery was in the morning. I had to eat at night. That night I had cold applesauce. And it's a little scary, you have these stitches in your mouth and you're tender, but I handled it okay. I had applesauce. I think I even had a couple of eggs. And I'm the worst cook that ever graced the planet. So it was difficult for me to figure out what to eat. Soups were cool, but I'm not really a soup girl, but I tried it for a while. Like I said, applesauce. The doctor did tell me that protein is very good for healing. So I went out, Trader Joe's. I got some ground chicken, ground pork. I got some other chicken and some pork, and I made pulled pork out of it, and that was fine to eat. Anyway, I'm sure they've told you yogurts, really soft foods. I really didn't want to put any pressure whatsoever on these top posts. So I didn't. So 2 weeks later, I went back in and stitches were looking great. And I'm all happy because the stitches are coming out. Well, the stitches did not come out. Stitches had to stay in another 2 weeks. Again, I didn't ask why. I just said, all righty. But he said everything was healing perfectly and everything was going well. And I was pretty happy. Now, the teeth that they gave me, and they're in my mouth, he asked me if there's any way I could possibly go 2 weeks without it, and I could. I had to work a couple of days in that interim. And really, when I spoke, you couldn't see that I didn't have teeth, but I was very uncomfortable. So I went home and I tried them. I was like, okay. But it was terrible. I put them in. They immediately fell out, even with stuff in there. It was not good. I waited. I was a good girl. I did go 2 weeks. After that 2 weeks came, what I did was I bought this stuff, and I hated it. This stuff was terrible for me. I applied it like I was supposed to. It wasn't too much, and it worked okay. But when I went to take the teeth out, it was just these long, stringy bleh coming out, and I could not get it off of the roof of my mouth no matter what I did. So then I switched over to Fixodent. Fixodent Ultra was cool. And then I tried Fixodent Professional, and that is actually my go-to. I really like it. You hardly need to put any on there. And by the way, you're not putting them in the gum area. You're just putting it on kind of on the roof of the mouth because you don't want to get anything in the gums. I still had stitches. So 3 days ago, I hit my month, and he took the stitches out. So that was cool. I feel great. He says my gums are healing. I'm not icing at all at this point, but I am still rinsing with salt water. I am not using a toothpick or a brush other than my bottom teeth, my tongue, and maybe the roof of my mouth carefully. I feel pretty good, And to be honest, I feel good enough that I'm sort of excited about the end of this whole thing. It's been a month. I'm like, 5 more to go if all goes well. I do understand there are issues sometimes. So far, so good. The teeth that he gave me, at one point, I felt some pressure and it was really painful. I brought them in, and he did whatever he did to fix it and gave them back to me, and they fit great now. So in 2 more weeks, which will be 6 weeks, I'm going to go back, and then I believe they're going to, I guess it's called realigning or reline. And I guess what that is he's going to put a soft bed up inside the palate, and they're going to fit a lot tighter and a lot more comfortable. Now, does that mean I can eat with them? I don't know. I really can't eat with them now. They're not comfortable to chew with. Maybe I'm still too tender, and I actually feel better when I eat soft foods without my teeth. The dentist made it clear a couple days ago that I would be eating soft foods all the way through. I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm better than that. I lost 9 pounds. Woohoo! So the reason I'm doing this video is because I like I said, I read some of these threads, and I am aware that there's people that are just terrified to do it. And at least so far, it's been really fine. The surgery was nothing. I don't want to belittle how you're feeling because I felt it too. But what I'm saying is the worst part for me was the Novocaine, and that's over in 60 seconds? Maybe longer. But it's done with, and then you can't feel anything. And eventually in 6 months, and you figure I'm 64, I've been going 100 years, 64 years with issues. I'm not going to have these issues anymore. Now, I do have a couple friends that did both top and bottom, and they're so happy. Um, I have read threads. I don't think anybody should read those threads because there are some negative feedback on those threads. And then if you kind of read into some of those threads, a lot of them, these people, they're like a year or year and a half, and it just turns out that they were not able to finish paying to get them finished. And then they talk a little bit negatively. I don't read those threads because I think everybody's different. Every mouth is different. And, you got to do your due diligence, meet your doctor. I just happen to love the one I went to. So that's why I want to keep going every month. And maybe I can help in some way, or maybe you'll ask questions, where you can write and I can answer. I'm going to do another one in 2 weeks, a very brief one that talks about the realignment and how that feels when I get it. So in the meantime, I wish all of you who are thinking about getting them luck and happiness, and take care of yourself. Thank you.